Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. I was making sure everything was unmuted. Y'all are on another monitor this time because I will be playing some Power Wash Simulator, which means I'm going to need the full view of this monitor that's right in front of me. So hopefully I'll still be able to pay attention and I won't get too distracted. I was just checking on sound alerts because it seemed like there was a bit of a delay last time we streamed, and wanted to make sure they were all working. The random squeaks and squeals you may have heard are probably because I've already opened the game. And full disclosure, I have been playing some of this game, Power Wash Simulator 2 specifically, on my own. I am a huge fan of the Power Wash Simulator series, and so, of course, let me get it switched over so we can all see together instead of me just talking about it. Oh dear, is it gonna capture the game? Gonna capture the game. We're gonna work this time. Sometimes it doesn't like to capture my full screen applications, and I don't love that. Is it currently? Don't know if it's. Oh, it's window. Let's make it full screen fully. See if that helps. See if that tips it off at all. No, maybe not at all. Oh no. Please, please capture it. Please. Oh, the Elgato's on top of it. No wonder I can't see anything. I forgot that I had that turned on. So that's my bad. Power Wash Simulator, could you please? There we go. Now I've clicked on it, maybe it'll work. There we go. Okay. So we have it full screen, we have it up, everything is working properly. But because it is full screen, I have to use a second monitor to be able to see my chat. And I like talking to you guys, so of course I have to be able to see my chat. Now, Power Wash Simulator 2 has been out for a little while. Like I said, I have been playing it. I'm about halfway through the story, as you can see. Rather than start it completely over so that you can see all of the features, highly recommend checking out the demo for this game and checking it out for yourself, especially if you are a fan of just games where you can just zone in, accomplish a thing, and you get little notifications of completion as you go along. So I'm a huge, huge fan of the Power Wash Simulator series. I'm a huge fan of this game so far. I'm not too sold on the new cleaning equipment yet, but I don't know if I've unlocked everything, so that might be a me problem. But what I am going to do is I have been fiending to play the Adventure Time DLC that they came out with because I love Adventure Time. In fact, I have a bag that's BMO that's holding the little pouch in the front where you can put like your coins and your wallet and things like that. And on the back, it's got like number one Mo and it's got like the BMO's heart and everything. And I would have to show y'all before I continue yapping about it. But it's a cute bag and I really love it and I take it everywhere. Of course, because it is, it is teal and I really love teal. So, says I, Princess Bubblegum, hereby dub thee the Royal Candy Cleaner. Sounds like a tough job, I know, but I genetically spliced you from the legs of a worker bee and the toughest donut I could find. So hard work is literally baked into your DNA. My friends Finn and Jake have volunteered, by a royal decree, to devise a test to train you up. Do a good job, and who knows, maybe you'll get the royal seal of approval. I hope it's an actual seal. Looks like we get to use two different weapons. Start doing. I'm very excited for this. Full disclosure, I did leave my water in the other room, so I may go grab it before we get super started. But I am very, very excited to play this game, despite the fact that I have been battling a migraine for most of the day. So give me just a sec to grab the water and we'll get started. And now you might be thinking, hey, Cece, why didn't you just get up and then leave us to watch Snorlax while you were gone? Well, I didn't want to wear real pants today, so that's the real reason. But migraine or no migraine, you guys are in a different position literally every time I turn on the stream. So it's supposed to be here. Somebody keeps moving this monitor, and it's not me. I don't think it is. If it's me, then I need to figure out what I'm doing. It's possible that I'm doing it because I have a lamp that sits right behind it, and I turn that on and off when I'm working. It's another way to signal my dog whether the day is finished with work or unfinished with work, and it seems to work pretty well. So I might be bumping it when I do that, and it turns the monitor this way. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just haunted. All right, so we are a Gumball Guardian Ebimo pet. Aw, who wants to play video games? Pet Bimo in the living room job. Heck yeah. We got to pet Bimo from the first second we started the game. First thing we did. So our little guy looks to be some sort of like I say Gumball Guardian, but oh wow. I did not think that the floor was gonna be such a different color, but that's okay. One of the new features in this game is that they have given us a trying to figure out the buttons because I'm used to playing on mine. Maybe we don't have it. Hmm. Okay. So one of the new features that they've introduced, of course, is this little wheelie cleaner, which we'll be using for the floor, but also a soap cleaner. So I wonder, is it me? Am I the problem? I think it's me. I think it's because we're doing the DLC with the special stuff that it didn't give us one with the ability to do soap. But instead of having to buy a bunch of bottles of soap, you have a like meter and you use it up and then it will recharge as you stop using it. And you can then soak everything and it will only stick to the things that are dirty and then you wash them right off. So I'm going to use this bad boy and I'm going to use the extendy because I find that that works best when I'm cleaning floors. And I'm going to right click because that will give me the ability to just move my mouse. You could left click and hold if you wanted to. I prefer to do it this way when I'm doing long stretches of cleaning. But hey, Finn, I hear sloshing, splooshing, and burbling. The royal candy cleaner must have started already, says Jake. We're just gonna clean this floor real quick. Here too, dude. Oh, well, they're talking about us as if we're not in the same house. I'm actually gonna use the 2 extendy because then I can just tilt my mouse a little bit and it will go a little farther. I do like that they are very cartoony colors. Like even the wood planks are very cartoony colors, whether they have dirt on them or not. So I like that. As for how close this is going to be to the actual series, that remains to be seen. Now, you don't have to just use this particular head on the floor. You can also use it on like the walls and the ceiling and wherever you like. But for walls and ceiling, I'll probably switch to one of the gun versions and use that. Now, it's not super bad. There does seem to be quite a bit of strength and power behind this washer, which is pretty cool. I do like that the water seems to be a little more cartoony than in the base game because it does have like an effect to it that seems to be in line with all the cartooniness that we're seeing. So I might want to put it back on 1, I think. Because what your character will do is if they're too close, they'll pull their gun back and you aren't able to clean that spot. So now this is the living room floor right here. And this appears to be the entrance. The living room in the game or in the show obviously is much bigger, This seems to actually be encompassing the kitchen rather than the actual living room, but that's okay. I still like it. There's a whole couch right here. Oh, Shelby. Hello? Someone's trying to grab some shut-eye in here. Wow. Sorry, Shelby. Trying to clean out here. Check, please. Check, please. I will fully admit it's been a very long time since I watched Adventure Time, and I was much younger then. So hopefully we'll be able to get all the references. But if nothing else, it's a nice relaxing game despite all my yammering, and we'll have a good time with it. I just realized all my sound was turned down. Turn it up for my benefit. Get your toes, BMO. I do love BMO a lot. I think BMO identifies as a boy, so even though I want to say she, because I am also a huge fan of Gravity Falls, and BMO is the same voice actress that plays Candy in that show. So my brain wants to say she, even though I'm pretty sure BMO identifies as a boy. Pick up. Hey, I can pick up the dice. Can I roll the dice? Oh, I can rotate it. Can I make it into a nat 20 or can I drop it on something so that it rolls? Aha! I did, in fact. Trying to roll a 20. Oh, come on. Gotta roll a 20. Now, when it turns white like that, it means you can't place it, um, which usually just means that something's in the way. But I want to roll a 20. Is it silly to try to roll a 20 by rolling a dice over and over and over again? Maybe, but I mean, what is this whole game if not silly? Or at least this section of the game. Technically, we could wait until the 20 is up and then we could try to catch it midair, but I don't think I'm that skilled, unfortunately. All right, let's do. I'm trying to catch it midair so that it rolls into a 20, and it's not working. It's less exciting when it's grayed out like that. So, please. Ah, my gun got in the way. Got an 8, 17, 15. Hey, we got a 20. Yay. Sweet. Does it do anything? Absolutely not. Does it make my brain a little bit happier? Yeah, yeah, it does. We managed to roll a 20 after all this time. Floor all clean. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Looks like back here counts. Whoop. Trying to get that first ding. Now, of course, we could look and see what the achievements are and see if there's anything specific we need to be doing other than petting Demo, obviously, which we learned by accident, to get certain achievements. Much like the first game, there are certain tasks in certain levels where it will tell you, oh, you need to clean this object first before you clean anything else. So it is very, very easy to miss some of the achievement items because you'll be doing something else, essentially. Oops. Didn't mean to hit Q, meant to hit 1. All right, I'm gonna go with the green one. Start giving everything a little wash. It's very, very colorful in here. The only character I could think of that would have caused a bunch of color other than maybe Abbott Daniel would have been Lady Rainicorn. So I'm not sure which one it would be. It could just be the boys with paint. Who knows? It is supposed to be a test from Ben and Jake, so it could literally be anything. Ordinarily, I would guess like, oh, Ice King must be doing something, but there's no ice. There's just color. So, all right, we cleaned the living room and oh, the bow for the viola. Hey, how do I? Okay, so left crouch or left control is my crouch button. As you can see, my little guy shrinks when I do that, and I'm closer to the ground. And then R for rotate. Got it. Okay. We're gonna make it big. Soak everything down. I imagine that this first level will be fairly straightforward, simply because it's the first one of the DLC. But by flipping between the different sizes, you actually get a more precise uh, Finn. Trashing our living room for Bubblegum's official test was such a great idea. As you get like the thinner ones, it's stronger. So I know, bro. How many chances are we gonna get to empty the cupboards like that? Zero comeback. Empty the cupboard. I guess they threw all their food. You think they'll clean it all? I guess they threw their food everywhere, maybe? Oh, the Enchiridion. That's pretty integral to several plot lines. No way. I went over that flame stain like 5 times. Slime stain. Gross. We're gonna clean it all and show those boys that we are professionals. And then I'm sure we'll have to clean the Candy Kingdom itself, and I'm pretty sure we have to clean the Ice Wizard's cave. So Ice King. But I don't know if they call it Ice King Kingdom or what they call it. I don't know. Like I said, some of my fondest memories are like watching this show and really getting into the show. Um, but they are all a little old. So I do hope that they come back with more collaborations for this game, like they did with the last one. The last one had like Warhammer, Wallace and Gromit, which I really loved, Alice in Wonderland, all kinds of stuff. And one of the ones that I know is coming out for the second game is a Star Wars one. So I'm really, really hoping that it goes well and they're able to get collaborations with other franchises. Because it would be really, really neat to see a collaboration with like other like Cartoon Network cartoons and things like that. So, or just other franchises in general. I think it's really fun when games are able to do even just like a little one-off. So like if they did um like another Back to the Future reference and it's the DeLorean, like those sorts of things I think are really, really neat in games like this because you have your main story, of course, that's got its own stuff going on, and then you have your fun DLC, which is just for fun. And I do like that the game is able to fit in the actual gameplay with the like more cartoony art style. So I think that's my favorite thing so far. Is that I know there's going to be references and I know there's going to be like stuff like, oh, hey, I recognize that thing. But it's the fact that it's able to sort of um, like really hone in on the art style that you would see in the show to make that work for the gameplay. And it's really neat. And admittedly, I don't have a whole heck of a lot to talk about this week. Like I said, I am unfortunately battling a pretty major headache this evening. We finished Booktopia last week, technically, story-wise, and at some point we'll probably go back to it and do some of the post-game stuff, work on our pallet town, stuff like that. And On the one hand, I wanted to save those things for like a personal kind of playthrough section where I'm able to experience the game without necessarily having to wait until we could do it together. Because when I play games like that, especially when there's a story to follow and when there's things that, are especially time based, I really, really prefer to wait until I can experience them for the first time with you all so that any reaction that I may give is genuine. Because above all, I like to be genuine with the show. So, oh no, we lost our perfect 20. Oh well, we gotta get it out of the way anyway. But so yeah, so we may go back to Pallet Town. If I play it without y'all, of course, I'll reveal it. And then I did debate playing Tomodachi Life on here because I've really been enjoying that game. But because I've sunk so much into it and I've put not only a lot of people that I know in real life into it, but also like random anime characters, I was like, well, a lot of the fun for me is the actual like decoration of people and letting the characters meet each other. And I've already done quite a bit of that, so I didn't think it was going to necessarily be the most fun. So I think maybe if I started a second island on Tomodachi Life or something, or reset my island on Tomodachi Life, then maybe I could make something out of that. We'll see. To me, it is the kind of game that doesn't really have a story to it, and I much prefer to play story-driven games, um, especially with you all. So I also debated playing Infinity Nikki because there was another major update to the story, but I did start playing it without y'all. So what I may have to do is see about holding off on playing more of the story and just playing it on here. But that's going to be something that we just kind of play by ear because I'm actually taking next week off. I have a friend coming into town and I want to spend as much time with them as possible. So I'll be taking the day off. Plus, this upcoming Saturday is my birthday. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm getting old or something. Maybe. I don't know if I'm getting old yet. I'm definitely getting thirsty though. My goodness. I'm getting thirsty in my old age. And maybe nobody noticed, but I just wanted to make sure it was pointed out. I cut my hair. It's no longer as long as it was. It was not looking as healthy as I was hoping. I had switched like shampoo and conditioner so I could try to make it healthier, and it just wasn't really making a difference. So I cut it. Well, I got it cut. I didn't cut it myself this time. But yeah, lots of changes in my world. Dude, checking out all that food made me hungry. I mean, fair. So it does seem like they had some kind of massive food fight then. Nice. We should have made sandwiches when we had the chance. Yeah, probably. And we're gonna clean up all their ingredients so they can't make sandwiches anymore. Don't sweat it. I'll just stretch a leg in through the window and grab us something from the cupboard. Where's the window? Is that the window? Ah, kitchen window. We cleaned them out, remember? Besides, Bubblegum said no interruptions under any circumstances. There's cheese on my counter. You can stretch in and get that. It would be interesting if the game had something where he does extend his foot in here and like grabs the cheese or something, but only if you've already cleaned it. Or like tries to grab the cheese, but then fumbles and goes right back out the window. That would be neat. Probably get on top of things. There we go. Look at all this junk. All right. We cleaned the cheese. Seems like a strange detail to need to clean, but you know what? They covered it in gunk, so we had to. one of the major plot points of the last Power Wash Simulator was the fact that there was a volcano that was erupting. And if you haven't played the first one, the story can be a little silly and convoluted, but at the end of the day, the idea was that a society of power washers used to use cleanliness and, I don't know, space magic, I guess, to keep the volcano dormant. So you clean off this statue, his as the volcano is erupting, mind you. His beam of light goes shooting across the sky, and it makes the volcano dormant, and everything is good. And at the beginning of this game, the light is still shooting across the sky, and it's like very, very prominent during one of the jobs you're doing, and then all of a sudden it turns off. And that's the beginning of the plot for this game. And I can't tell you the rest because I've only beaten half of it. And what fun would spoilers be? You gotta play it yourself. Like I said, I am a big, big fan of just being able to zone out while you play this game. So it is very, very tempting to, instead of yap, just either turn the camera off and make the game big, or just stare into the void as I clean the whole house here. I will admit that this living room is a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. Alright, we got Extendi going. That means we can reach the ceiling. Let's see if we can make it right. Ah, yeah, look at that. Can I go all the way to the white one? Dang. So, again, like I said before, the whiter ones are much weaker. So it's a good idea to use like the green one or the yellow one. That way you still get a good bit of coverage without sacrificing too much in the way of power. But I think we'll just go through on a first pass and do this until we unlock the ability to use soap. And I'll worry about it more when we've unlocked soap. Essentially what this is doing is letting us get a whole big area in one go. It's less for the purpose of like rushing it and more that I want to see everything that the DLC has to offer. So we are going to go through it a little faster than I normally would for the sake of like just slowly seeing it clean. But yeah. Normally I take my time with these. I make sure that it's every single inch is cleaned well and everything looks nice. And again, this time we're just gonna get it done. I guess we also could have played Talia since they have a big update coming up. Um, Coral Island just had a big update or is about to have a big update. Tales of Mystria has an update coming out. So a lot of games in the Cozy Sphere have either major updates or big releases. So now I am a little bit disappointed that I did not get into the beta for Loftia, which is I believe they call it solar punk is the style. It is an MMO that is going to be a cozy MMO, and the idea is that you are helping your fellow players build up the town. I'm so hungry I could eat your shoe. Oh goodness. I guess they have to stick around in case I like ditch or something. That's gross, dude. My shoes are stank nasty. It's true. I'm sure they are. He is a boy of many adventures. I'm sure his shoes are disgusting. Right now, I could eat them both and your socks. Ew. Now I know he's funnin', cause that's gross. Oh yeah? They're right here for you, bro. Catch. Oh no. Gross, gross, gross. But yeah, I forget what I was saying because I stopped to read the dialogue. Oh yeah, I was talking about Lafayette. So far, Lafayette is a cozy game where you like an MMO style cozy game where you are collaboratively helping your fellow players build up the town, gather resources, etc., etc. And it seems like a lot of people have been really enjoying it so far. The devs are very responsive to feedback, and I believe they're even active on their own Discords, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So I've really been enjoying watching the development of the game so far, and I'm very, very excited that it is in like an early access beta right now. Um, I think it's considered a closed beta actually. So it is in that like first beta stage where they've invited people and they're able to kind of test it out as a multiplayer game, that sort of thing. Um, and it seems to be going pretty well. A lot of the stuff that they have really been focusing on seems to be like inclusivity and story, which I really, really appreciate. Um, I've noticed that they like took a long, long time and care into like different hairstyles and making sure that there were all kinds of different textures for hair. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Highly recommend checking out somebody's stream if you're able to catch somebody streaming the beta. Um, I think I saw like Hannah Banana Ram doing it and a couple others, but unfortunately, I don't think anybody that I usually watch regularly was able to get in. So I'll be keeping an eye out just in case. Because if they send out more beta keys, I'm going to apply for every single one. The other one that I did not get into just yet was Petite Planet, which is by the makers of Genshin Impact. It's another like cozy MMO style, but I don't know if it's necessarily like an MMO or if it's more an MMO in the way that Genshin is an MMO, where you have the option of multiplayer, but it's not like a constant thing. So we'll see. But if either of those games go really well, I'm hopeful that they will overtake games like Cartopia, which, to be honest, I think I've maybe played about 20 minutes of Heartopia in the last several days. I've gotten on, done the dailies, and hopped back off. It has lost a lot of its appeal for me, especially in the wake of all of the racism allegations and the way that players treat each other in that game. There's been a lot of like trolling in it and things like that, which, to be fair, is present in basically every MMO. But the way that some people have gone about it with almost seemingly little to no repercussions is, quite frankly, just not it. It's just not it. So hopefully we get a replacement for it, and I can convince people that cozy gaming isn't just a bunch of nonsense, and it'll be great. So, oh, Finn forgot his backpack. That's so sad. How will he go on adventures without it? Finn and Jake have to find a new home. It's gonna be tough. Boy, and a dog on his own. A little bird heart, often sticking his foot in. It's one of the first songs in the show where Finn and Jake are trying to find a place to live. And they were gonna live here, but Marceline the Vampire Queen was like, "Oh man, I like that place," and she came to take it back, and they did not stand up to her. So I mostly remember that one because it's like, Marceline, why are you so needy? Not meaning to touch you so, and I just lost track of my mood for you. Marceline, can't you see these dazzling pain? Okay, invest in this really cute video game. which is BMO, of course. And I love BMO, so it worked out really well. I will fully admit that I have not seen all of Adventure Time. I mean, I know what happened in the end, and it's all well and good, but I just, for some reason, got to a point in the show where it actually started getting more of a story to it, and I started watching other things. I lost track of it. And every time I go to sit down to continue it, I forget what I've seen already, and I have to go back and rewatch a bunch of it, and then I don't get caught up on the actual show. So, to that end, I also have not seen Fiona and Cake, which I've heard some very mixed things about. So, I'm hoping that maybe I'll have a better time with it than some other folks have, but we'll see. At some point, I'll pick it up and start watching it. I recently finished, well, I say finished, but I finished the second season of The Owl House, which admittedly the third season is only about 3 1-hour episodes. And I already know that that's going to be a very like quick, like super fast wrap up kind of style thing. So not looking forward to that. When I saw it was only 3 episodes, I thought maybe um, like they just didn't have the rest on the streaming platform I was using. But no, it is for sure um, an issue with the actual show because of Disney. So, which is a shame because that show's been pretty good. And if you're not familiar with Owl House, it is a show where um, this kind of quirky kid ends up in a magical realm and she's really excited. She's like under the study to be a witch. And she discovers her own way to do magic, even though it's not the same way everybody else does it, which is pretty cool. And, adventures ensue. And sometimes the episodes are filler and sometimes they're not filler, but, you know, every cartoon is basically just like that. And they all were around that same time. But the main difference being the main character is canonically in a relationship with another young woman. So I like it. I think, even though it's not spelled out, that they're both bisexual. But quite frankly, I don't know because it's not spelled out. We have no way of knowing if they are both lesbian, if one's bi and the other is lesbian, or any of that. I just know that they both seemingly identify as female and they're into each other. So I'll take it. You could always use more LGBT representation, especially in cartoons, because that's people's reality. Heck, it's my reality, so it happens. Can I go in there? Aha, can go in there. Okay. Didn't think that being crouched on the ground was going to create a problem, but apparently it is. Is the nozzle I'm using is too long. Oh, hey, Shelby. Ugh. We sprayed him and he went back in his shell. That's kind of cute. Oh, wait, that's not Shelby. That is the snail. The evil snail. My brain was like, Shelby doesn't have a snail? Or have a shell? You know what, brain? You're right. Shelby doesn't have a snail. Or snail shell. Blah, 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 blah. He's not a shell. Or it's not a snail. He's a worm. I think he's an earthworm specifically, but I'm not 100% sure. Man, I really like this game. I could sit here and talk about absolutely nothing for hours at a time. I mean, I do that anyway, but this game allows me to do that and not feel too bad about it. Because what else am I going to talk about? There's not really a story necessarily until we complete the mission. Let's make this shorter. Clearly, our weapon of choice here is too long. That's okay. missing a spot in here? Is it because I'm crouched? Aha, there we go. Got that. Okay, back out here. We are only 76% complete. I'm sure a big chunk of that is because of this entryway here, which does include, I guess, spider webs. But I was trying to get this area clean first before we moved on to the next area. So, ouch, frame. Okay. So, oh yes, this underside. Gross. Now, technically, at any point, you can hit Q and it will highlight where the dirt and grime is. So you don't necessarily have to guess the way that I was, but sometimes it's nice to look for it on your own. So, it is also very funny when you accidentally hit it at the very beginning of a level and just everything lights up. Makes me laugh a little bit. This strip right here. Aha, there's the kitchen table. This is all grimy. Here, cooler is done. Curtains, shelving. Hollow branch exterior. Is it the upper part? Oops, why did I crouch? Huh. There's like a speck over here, but I don't think that's what it's referring to. Is it on the side? So the benefit of having soap at this point would be that we could technically soap up an entire thing, and then it would only stick to the things that are actually dirty. Oh, nook couch backrest. It's probably the upper part. Yeah. It's all that grime. Gross. Grr. Get that one up real quick. Oof. My tummy is not doing so well because of the headache. Whew. We'll be okay. Trying to stay hydrated, which is, about all I can do. I also have a pinched shoulder. I think I slept on it wrong. I switched out my pillows and got much bigger, fluffier pillows, which I normally like. Um, but they're firmer than I thought they were going to be. So I have to like really beat them up to be able to sleep on them. Which sounds silly when I say it out loud, but that's what it is. I'm having to beat up my pillows. All right, all this stuff seems to be still roady. No, such an old people word to use. Sorry. Nook shelf. Ah, the undersides. Nice. It's a nook couch armrest, nook shelving. I think this branch, yeah, it's the other side too. I heard something. That'd be wrong. I'm not real sure why Finn left his backpack and sword inside. Seems like a bad idea if they don't trust me. I guess they technically do trust me because I am a creation of Princess Bubblegum, which I was not expecting, by the way. But we'll see. Jake's boots. Oh my goodness. Oh, Marceline. Wait, someone's playing my bass. I can feel it. Well, there is slime all over it, so. Oh, sorry, Marceline. Your bass is filthy. Actually, you know what? I don't think your shoes are gonna cut it. I'm gonna eat the entire treehouse instead. Oh no. Oh yeah, we better hurry up because I'm about to eat the entire grasslands in the Candy Kingdom. Oh my goodness. We should probably stop them. Well, then you'll have to do it inside my tum tum because I'm about to eat all of ooh, even the vapor swamps. My goodness. They must be hungry. Okay, I'm gonna do this and then whoop, not the button I meant to push. I meant to push 3, which gives me the extended. Ew, dude. Hey, I'm not so hungry anymore. Me neither. High five. It's very funny. I guess we're trying to out eat each other so that, or talk about out eating each other. So then, they weren't hungry anymore because they talked about eating gross stuff like the vapor swamp, or they ate Finn's shoes. Equally likely at this point. Green coat, big cat, Joshua cat. Aw, Jake's dad. That's pretty cute. Joshua got tangled up with a demon at one point, if I remember correctly. I'm washing in my mind, washing in my brain. Same. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Okay, Bimo. Bimo's making a little song. Might have to switch to the yellow one. I was using the green one because it covers more area, but I think the yellow one's going to be the one that cuts it until we can maybe unlock some soap. It's also possible that I just don't know how to use the soap. So we'll see. Emo's hat and a little hanger, but nothing's hanging up. So Fenn left his backpack and his sword, and oh, it started. One of the things that happens is when you hit about 95%, you start getting these little reticles on the screen, which are pointing you to a thing that is still dirty. And that thing will also flash lightly like this. So if things essentially flashing, I guess is the best way to put that, are going to bother you, then I highly recommend looking away. I think there's a way to turn that off, though. I'm not sure. Um, I don't know for sure if that can be turned off. Ah, so you can either set the reticle to always be available or it fades in and out. My shoulder, sorry. Okay, I'm not seeing one to turn off that light flash. It is kind of a more simple, I guess is the way to put that. It's not like super like flashy, but I don't know if that makes people sensitive to it or not. This is just controls. Okay. I am not sure. Because to me, it's a very subtle flash, and I may not even notice it most of the time. But I know that some folks are sensitive to that. So just as a fair warning, if you're playing this game, there may be a way to turn it off. Like I said, I just am not sure how to do it. So Good game. Good game. Could stand to lose the light flash on objects for those who would like to turn it off. Also, I just realized that the AC did not kick on. It is electrical powered, so I am able to turn it off and on at will. I'm gonna turn it on real quick, put my phone aside, and we'll be good. It's not usually super warm in this room, but of course my PC puts out a decent amount of heat, so once that's going, I get a little warm. I have to make sure the AC is on. Get this wall clean. The boots are clean. And the floor is clean. And somehow, some way, that's gonna be clean. Ugh, I wish my shoulder would stop hurting. My head, my shoulder. Heck, at this point, my knees and toes probably hurt too. Shoulder, knees, and toes. Yeah, you get it. What's yelling at me for? Is it the base? Yell at me that the base is still dirty? Of course it is. Alright. Okay. What? Sorry, somebody is messaging me and I need to turn it off. Go away, people who are messaging me. You don't need to message me. I hate when that happens. It probably didn't come through on the mic, thankfully, but my phone was buzzing a whole lot, and I usually don't answer too many texts when I'm streaming because I don't really want them to talk to me because I already told them I'd be streaming. So people do not need to message me a whole bunch. They can, I guess, but sometimes when people start messaging me a lot while I'm streaming, I have to let them know real quick, hey, I'm streaming, I'll get back to you afterwards. Except if I do that, I often forget. So just a cursory check to make sure it's nothing serious, and then onwards I went. Back to you all. Yeah, entrance steps. Oh, gross. Let's get on the barrel. Or, yeah, on the barrels, on the swords, on the everything. Get it clean. Oh, yeah. Kind of thought the outside of the barrel and the inside of the barrel would be separate, but not complaining too much. Since this is the first level, I imagine that most of it is going to be easy, less finicky, that sort of thing. So that's generally what happens is the game will give you a lot of leeway on these more easy levels because they don't want you to give up on the first level. Something over here set it off. What was it? Oh, BMO's hat. Does that make sense? Aha. All right. The cheese. The cheese is not clean. How did this happen? Now it is. Stove stuff. What is stove stuff? These things? Oh, shelf. Why am I reading stuff? Oh my goodness. It is very dirty under there. Nice. We finished it. Press escape. And then we can watch ourselves do it. Look at our little guy go. He's so cute. We were made out of a donut, but we're an ice cream man. I don't know if that makes sense. Schmowowzow. RCC. Oh, Royal Candy Cleaner. That was tops. I can't believe you cleaned everything. Was kind of hoping you'd leave something behind since we cleared out the cupboards, making the place all scronked up. Maybe we can grab lunch elsewhere. All right, to the next one. My royal candy cleaner. While we wait for Finn and Jake to show up with your test results, something's come up. The front of Pizza Sassy's got all donked up with snow and ice. As the Candy Kingdom's only savory restaurant, it's imperative that Sassy's is reopened ASAP. Also, it's pizza night, and I'm in the mood for a sweet and Sassy's. So Finn and Jake have not told her how well we did. Oh, hey, there's Jake. But we're here to get it cleaned up. What's up, Jake? We can actually pick him up and move him around, but the point of him is that he is a scissor lift, which is kind of cool, actually. I like that. I like that he's the scissor lift because he is the one with the stretchy powers, so it makes sense. Oh yeah, we need to be closer for sure. Oof. Big, big oof. Whee! Oh, that's so cool. It still looks like a scissor lift, but it's Jake. I'll move Jake around. And he has the buttons on him and the fake wheels. Look at that. You can actually lower it from up top and climb up. He makes a good scissor lift. Good job, Jake. Whee! I get why they would make it look as close to the regular scissor lifts as possible, because then it's easier to just um like go ahead and make him do the same thing as a regular scissor lift, quote unquote. But it is pretty great. Alright, let's clean the top. Finn and Jake investigate. 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 Hey Jake, I'm gonna get to the bottom of the snow and ice thing. I mean, it's Ice King, right? Wanna help me with my investigation? I'm already finding prints on everything here. Oh, okay. I mean, they can investigate if they want, but isn't it just Ice King? Nah, dude, I'm gonna hang outside with RCC. All these swooshes and suds are making my brain tingle. Nice. Mine too. Mine too. Okay, bro, I'll let you know if I find anything. It's just Ice King. So in the main levels, you can actually find the cats, because there's three of them this time, in every level. So I wonder if you can find Demo in every level, since he's like the cat of this level, or of this like DLC stuff. In the sense that you can pet him. I don't know if he's actually considered a cat in these, but I imagine that that's what his function is in the DLC. So we should try to find him. If he's somewhere in the level, it will prove my point. If he's not, well, you know, it'll be fine. I might be a little bit sad. A little bit. So far, I don't see him, but we're also like up on top of things. And the cats are usually like in the starting area of the level or like on a bench or something like that. But we'll see. He could be anywhere. All right, swap back over to swapping, shortening, and spraying. Swap to green. I like using the green for the first pass because it's fairly large without being too weak, and it is a nice color. I like the way it looks with the gun. That's a silly reason to do it that way, but you know what? I like it. Now, I know some folks that play by just like zipping their mouse around, but that makes me a little dizzy, so I don't really do that. And I like making sure that things are clean before I move on from a section, but I also understand that it's not going to be perfect every single time unless I sit here and meticulously go over every inch really slow. So I just try to do my best. And I think it works out pretty well. There's also something that keeps making a noise, and I don't know what it is. I assume it's somewhere within the level, or it's like me moving on to something else, or casual ambiance. Who knows? Casual ambiance is the most likely culprit. I have to back up too far, but also still hit all of this. Interesting that they chose power washing to clean off ice and snow. Unless I'm spitting out hot water, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But, you know, who am I to question anything? I just work here. Literally, we are an employee slash creation. I guess we would technically be a citizen of the Candy Kingdom, but I'm gonna go with employee. Oh yeah, just scrub it right off of there. So we'll say that the ice isn't as good, I guess is the right word, as I thought it was going to be. But admittedly, it would be difficult to make it like actual ice that's sticking out of this thing and then also have it be cleanable. So I kind of get it. Great. Extendo. Probably need to do multiple all the way. Here we go. Now we will probably just need to get closer and do it from an up closer perspective. Oh yeah, it's fun anyway. Do that in just a little bit. Yeah, most of the stuff is gonna need to be like zoomed in on by hopping down there and doing it from down there. Which no biggie. Let's shorten this up so we can get this stuff that's in front of us. There we go. Sassy's middle roof. Is there stuff on the upper roof? It says there is, so I imagine there's probably stuff actually on the top of the roof. And I can lift a thing from here. Oh, where did this section come from? Thought I could place you up here somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong about it being on the very top. Maybe it's just on this section here. Hmm. Well, I tried to use that ladder, but I'm gonna guess that you're not supposed to go any taller than this. You probably can get taller than this. You're probably not supposed to. Getting on top of the buildings may be discouraged. There doesn't really appear to be anything up there except for more roof. So, I'll fail, I guess. Okay. Also, I think I did know that there was a savory place in the Candy Kingdom, but I was still surprised to hear that this was the only savory place in the Candy Kingdom. Like, realistically, it can't just be all candy all the time. But it could, though. So, yeah. Yeah, the sweet, sweet dings. You can technically turn the ding sound up. I have it down a little bit, but oh boy, still hits every time. making sure I'm not missing anything up here. Pizza. What else is up here? Top of that. Top of several of these, actually. I like how it separates the cheese and pepperoni. Pretty interesting cut. Make sure we got all of the top of this floor. Okay, if we missed anything up here, we'll have to just come right back up, but that's okay. Aha, I made it. I was a little assuming it wasn't gonna make it. Whee. Eats a set. Which juice one? Oh, excuse me. Most of the benefit of using this one is that it is a wider surface. I guess I don't have any other heads for it. And that allows you to like get the ground and everything like that. But I'm noticing that it doesn't work the best for this purpose. Like it works fine the way I'm using it right this second now that I have the like the extendo turned off, but I'm not entirely sure the best way to utilize it. So I don't know if it not working very well on the floor is a me error or a game error. I suspect it's a me error, but I don't know what the error is, so I don't know how to fix it. Oh well. It's alright. We'll take a good pass with this thing, and then we'll swap over to the game. I could do walls with it, I guess, but I'd have to back up from them. I like this. Well, I do pretty well at walls, actually. Hmm. Oh well. Okay. Clean. And then swap over to this one entirely. Oh, it got stuck in a sound. That's okay. I also get stuck in sounds. Heard a sound on tape deck earlier, which I hate that I love it so much because it's very clearly like somebody generated it with AI, but it was very catchy, and I'm ashamed to admit that. Like it wasn't a song necessarily, but it was somebody took their allegedly their unhinged chaotic text messages between them and a friend and turned it into this series of like gospel sounding songs where the text messages are lyrics, and it's just the right kind of weird for my brain and my ears, which is very fun. So y'all don't mind me if I go overly silent for a while so I can really soak in that sweet, sweet singing sound. I will say that I'm sure that my mic is probably needing to be turned up, and if so, I apologize. I'll move it a teensy bit closer. I know my voice is probably not as loud as it normally is, so I apologize. But we don't have much chatting going on, so maybe y'all like it like that. Who knows? That clean. Yeah, see? The floor looks so much better. Even though we're passing over it with the gun instead of the sweeper. Looking nice. Melts away. We probably need soap to make this even more buttery smooth, but I think it's okay. I think you can get away with this method for now, and it will be all right. But yeah, one of the main reasons that I chose to play this week was because I'm gonna be off next week. So, which I'll announce after stream, of course. That way, anybody who missed the stream and is watching this later as a VOD or on YouTube has that information ready and available. But yeah, aside from the times when I'm working, I'm going to be trying to celebrate my birthday all week long next week. And I think that's a noble goal. I think I'm allowed to do that every few years or so, few decades or so, once, or for once, I should say. I am lucky enough that I actually share a birthday with other people in my family, including my grandma. And this year will be her 80th birthday. So I'm looking forward to spending it with her and getting to see her this weekend. Specifically, I'm going to see her this Friday and then hang out with her and see her for a while. And then I will pick my friend up when they get into town and we'll have a great time. So I'm used to either doing nothing for my birthday or my birthday gets kind of lumped into our birthday. Um, and it wasn't always that way. Like when I was a kid, obviously, like I would have little kid birthday parties and stuff. It's not like I was, completely overshadowed by everyone else in my family. But when you have a birthday that's fairly close to like Mother's Day and stuff like that, as you get older, the birthdays themselves get just a wee bit smaller. And yeah, I had a pretty milestone birthday in 2020 and was right smack in the middle of everybody like masking up and nobody could meet and all that fun stuff. So, you can imagine how that felt. Um, and like I don't really celebrate myself, I guess is the best way I can say that. So I don't really let other people celebrate me too terribly much. Like getting gifts makes me feel some type of way, being the center of attention for something like that, where it's not like an accomplishment that I did, makes me feel some type of way. So, and that's not to say like, oh, I don't like being the center of attention, blah blah blah, because I absolutely do. But I like to be the center of attention because like, oh, I'm funny, or oh, I did really well at work, or blah 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 blah. Whereas for a birthday, you're just sitting there awkwardly, like, man, I'm surrounded by people who are all looking at me just for the virtue of having orbited the sun. And that's not quite the way that my brain chooses to enjoy itself. So I end up feeling some type of way about it, and then I don't want to celebrate my birthday. I'm going to make a concerted effort to actually celebrate this year. So, Pizza Sassy, building's covered in ice. What happened? Freezer door left open? Oh, I guess Ben is talking to somebody. Pizza Sassy says, all I know is that we shut up early after a huge order cleaned us out. When we went to open up this morning, this is how we found out. Oh, this is how we found it. Was the huge order Finn and Jake? Interesting. I'm gonna need to take a closer look. I mean, look. Lick? Look at what? What are you licking? Don't lick things, Ben. That's weird. Get this part done. Get this started. I will say that this sitting position and the way I'm holding my arms does not feel very comfortable on my foreshoulder. But I don't really have much of a choice. Otherwise, I would need to move the keyboard like into my lap, and I don't really want to do that. So I try to move it a little closer to the center so it's more like this rather than like way over here. See if it helps. The other option is I could hook up my controller and play on that. But I don't know those controls any better than I do the keyboard controls, so might as well stick to what I've got. And my hair, now that it's shorter, the ends of it keep like tickling me and tickling my face. I'm like, blah, get out of my face. Get out of my way. But no, they do not. They stay right where they are and they tickle random parts of my body. And I don't love that. Wonderful. I will say that while I did go in to get shorter hair, and some of you may not even notice because you may not have noticed that my hair is usually like twice this long. Um, but I really thought that I was getting it longer, which is a weird thing to say considering she asked me, "Do you want it cut to here?" And I said yes. Um, I guess in my head I was gonna have like longer hair and like it was still gonna sit at a certain spot on me. Um, and everything was gonna be all hunky dory. And then when it wasn't, I got real down about it and I'm like, oh man, I don't like the way it burns my face. I don't like the way it this. I don't like that. Um, but I do like that it is healthier. I am very appreciative to the haircut that I got, and I know it'll grow back. So I just have to tell myself that. I am absolutely going to be shocking my family on Friday when I see them, though, because they are not used to me having hair this short, comparatively. Um, I know I keep talking as if I've cut it all off and it's like, a buzz cut, but my hair has been like so long that it's down most of my back for a long, long while now. So to have it be up here where it's like more at like the armpit length rather than like the lower back length, of course it's going to be different for my family and they're going to be like, what? Where'd all your hair go? We cut it. Oh my gosh. So that'll be fun. I don't know if I'm going to be able to articulate other than, oh, I wanted it to be healthy. But it's already hard enough for me to articulate like why I don't love it. Like I like it, don't get me wrong. I just don't love it. And I don't quite know how to articulate that. So we'll see. We'll see. Back onto the Jake. Ooh, look at that stuff right there. Terrible. So 3, so we can go maximum. Yeah, we're gonna need to either move him or use the high rise thing over there, or something, because our little arms are not long enough, which is okay. Woo, lower so fast. Oh, I guess we're all the way lowered. I don't know why I thought it was shorter before. Oh well. All right, let's see if we can find BMO real quick. Again, I don't know for certain that he'll be in the game or in every level in the game, but the cats are. So if he serves the purpose of the same thing as a cat, of course he'll be somewhere. And then I'd like to see if I can find the waving snail too. Because that would be another item that would be like, oh, it's that thing. So, oh, that is. Oh, it's one of those springy right on things. Can I go up the stairs? Oops. Aw, I'm trying to go up the ladder, but it won't let me. It doesn't want me to go up the ladder. Maybe if I crouch. Can I put a different ladder on this ladder? I cannot, but I can put it on the building, which is close enough. He's probably gonna kill us for that, but it's okay. Don't mind me, Candy Kingdom cleaning duty. If I can't climb their ladder, I can at least climb my ladder. Whee! Well, we tried to go down the slide. Didn't really do much for us. That's okay. It's worth a try. Alright, can't go that way. Again, I'm just looking around to see if we can find Nemo. So. It's like these barriers are keeping us from exploring the town, which is fine. Pick up. Oh, the ladder. I was like, what are we picking up? Oh, that's snow. I was like, that doesn't look like ice because it's snow. Not gonna lie, I really thought Nemo would be available. Maybe it is just the snail we're supposed to find. It's kind of how it is for the regular game levels, is that oh, you got a booty. Is that you're able to like kind of explore around the area but not go super far, and then you can use your terrain to jump around and things like that. So I was curious if maybe like, oh, he's on a roof somewhere or something like that, but doesn't look like it. All right, looks like the green one is not going to be sufficient for this level. I'm going to switch to the yellow one. And the more zoomed out we are, the more effective of a like length one the yellow one's going to be. But as we use our extendy and stuff, it'll become even more effective on taking the stuff out from a quantity standpoint. So using the green for its wide lens, and now we switch to yellow for a less wide lens. So, but an effective one, which is nice. Now technically you can, oh, hello. There is one. Okay, so apparently it is the middle button on your mouse that you're supposed to hit to get the soap. So I do that, and then I soap it all up. And then when I swap back to the actual nozzle, you can see that only the areas that have debris underneath them have retained their soap. That's pretty cool. I thought maybe it was going to give us some sort of like ability to purchase the stuff, but in true power wash fashion, we had it and I just didn't know how to use it. So that's on me. All this wash river. Trying to make it at least a couple hours because I don't know how many levels there are in the DLC, but I'm interested in all of them, or at least as many of them as I can get. Here, let's do a little Cindy. And it switched us back to the green one. I think I did that and didn't notice, but that's okay. Now that we have the ability to do the soap, we can actually bring Jake a smidge closer. Can he not get any closer than that? I guess not. Hmm. I was really hoping we could utilize him a little better, but we can only get so close with him. So it's like that's as close as we can get. Womp womp. So as high as I can get. No, that's as high as I can get. Very nice. Alright. So I was kind of hoping we could get closer with him so that I could try to use like the scrubby, but I think we'll be okay. Let's get a little bit lower. So all the way extended. Jump on Jake's little ledge here. Just get the roof from a distance. I'm not sure if the roof is slanted enough that you could stand on it. I assume it is. But, you know, we're doing pretty well, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. We will need to figure out how to get to that roof, though. In fact, I need to just jump on over. Okay, so it is enough that you could conceivably clean the roof from on the roof. But for me, it's harder to see when you're this close. So I imagine that this would lead to me not being able to clean it as effectively as I could from a distance when I could see everything. So that's just me. Maybe your playstyle is to get up close and personal with dirt, which is okay. Speaking of witches, I read this book recently, and by recently I mean like within the last 48 hours. That was essentially about this girl who is a witch, but like the more natural kind of witch, like weaving things together or weaving things together to make charms and protection spells and da 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 da. But like with actual powers. And the plot of the book is that um, she is from a long line of witches that protect the town from the spirits who are trying to drown people. And she is apparently supposed to take over like the family oath and be like the next protector person much earlier than she planned because it was her grandma and then her mom took off when she was young. So then it's going to pass to her. But, you know, here she is, only 17, and her grandma's really, really sick, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, oh man, I'm going to be the next person. Then somebody else drowns. So the town is on edge and this and that. And she meets a mysterious boy she's never met before. Because these stories are always like that. And shenanigans ensue, I guess is the best way I can say it. I don't want to give too much away. It's called The Lies of Alma Blackwell, which, of course, but it was pretty good. It kind of had a weird pacing to it because the beginning just seemed to kind of speed through itself, and then the ending kind of dragged on a little bit, I guess. Which, I mean, I don't want to say like, oh man, this pacing is horrible, blah blah blah, because I mean, it could have also just been that I read it really fast and then I read slower and then I read really fast again. But it felt like the pacing was off. So it was good. I liked the overall vibe, and I liked the fact that there was a side plot about a lesbian romance. It was good. So I liked it a lot, and I think more stories need to include sapphic subplots. Because what other kind of subplot is there? Really? realistically. All right, let's see. Swap over to this guy. When I push and hold here, I'm able to change the head size. So instead of being able to make this a like a soapy thing or anything, I could just make it bigger. So that's the main benefit to this guy, is that you can just make him bigger. And if you smush down on top of the stuff, it usually cleans it pretty good because it's a spinning, rotating thing, which is nice. See, look at that. Perfect. Let's move this ladder out of the way. It wanted to go where I was standing, so it didn't go. We get practically at our own feet and just skip right along. I'm just trying to do the ground. So we'll do the ground first, and then we'll do the walls. I'll probably use this for the walls too. Seems to be working pretty well. Again, I'm not super duper sure the best way to use this as a wall tool yet. I'm sure we will all learn together. Man, look at that. Clean, clean, clean. It's not the most perfect clean, but it is still very good. If I do say so myself. And I do, in fact, say so myself. I think maybe if I used the... Oh, I can only go out 2. Maybe because we're standing so close, we need to just use the lower thing, but I'm not sure. Let's make it longer again. I don't know exactly how far you need to be from the surface to be able to use this effectively. I'll be honest. It seems like when I pass it over something, it's not as good, but when I stand here and like tilt the mouse to go like up and around a surface, it works a little better. I don't know if that's a thing or if I'm imagining. Bless you. I don't know what my mic does and doesn't pick up, so sometimes he'll make noises and I have no idea if y'all can hear them, which is probably okay. Okay, I'm gonna switch the gun again. That seems to be much, much better. Should switch to the wide left. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Now, theoretically, we could just spray soap on all of this and then clean it off that way, but it's okay. Extendy so that this goes better. Welcome back to the graveyard shift, folks. I'm your host, Starchy. Oh, radio. Also, graveyard shift. So much unexplainable weirdness has happened since the last show. I don't know where to start. That's because I forgot my notes. Good job, Starchy. Or did I? Is someone trying to silence me from beyond the grave? No? Either way, I better go find them. Back in a jiffy. Okay, Starchy. I wonder if we have to clean the graveyard. Since it mentioned graveyard. Probably not. It would make more sense to clean, like, Cloud Kingdom or Ice Kingdom or the Palace. Something like that. Oops. I clicked the left click button, which made it stop doing what it was doing. This is terrible. House wall. Oh, this is someone's house. I didn't even notice. Um, Yeah. I do like that it is essentially a candy cane with cupcakes at the end. Kind of neat. Okay, the wall is done, and I think this is done. It says the window's done. I assume that's good. Okay. So it looks like the white one can't take care of the ice. So I imagine the ice probably needs soap. So we'll just soak this bad boy up and just make it super easy on ourselves. Technically, you're going over a surface twice, but you're able to kind of speed through it when you do. And you'll notice that our little soap container there on the right has a little orange bar that goes down. That is the thing that has to recharge after you've used a bunch of soap. So, unlike the first game where it was like a finite resource, you had to spend money on it, yada, yada, yada. In this one, you simply buy the soap nozzle and then you have this recharge feature, and that's how you do it. So, just click in, get back to our thing here. I'm going to use the green one because I still don't trust that the soap will be enough, but it might be. Oh, actually. Oh, yeah, we use the green. Once you have the soap on there, it pretty much melts away. So, and that's true for pretty much every level in the game. It can be used on like grime and dirt and all that kind of stuff. So almost as much as getting the extendies where it makes it so where your power washer will go farther and you can reach farther with it. Almost as important as those features is of course the soap one. So now you do still upgrade your washers and things the same way in this game as you did in previous games. But now you can also earn a second custom. How did I say custom? I meant currency. You can earn a second currency that allows you to purchase like furniture items, and you can actually buy those furniture items with that second custom or that second currency, and it lets you clean them in your garage and then put them in your base. And I'll show you more of the home base in a little bit, but for now, I'm gonna go with this method because I'm enjoying cleaning the Candy Kingdom. And the home base, unfortunately, is not any different. It is entirely independent on which types of levels you're playing. So, must be the upper part of the roof that's stopping it. Switch to yellow, get that done. The roof seems to be. Oops. I switched to an I don't know what this is. There we go, swap to yellow. Why do I keep doing that? So now that I've discovered that the middle button gives me my soap, I keep hitting it instead of hitting the right click, which turns the auto spray on and off. So, not sure why I keep doing that. Arm off so I can get this complete. There's probably a better way to get this section, but I'm here. Might as well try this way. And can I jump simply onto the roof? Probably not. But I can parkour my way over. Maybe. I can parkour my way over. There we go. I had to make myself quick the first time, or the second time. even though I leave everything in the VODs and I don't cut them, and I leave everything in the YouTube uploads, I do sometimes, like we had the issues the first day we played Pocopia, where we had like sound issues and stuff. I did essentially speed up that whole section. Um, but I do very minimal video editing. I'm not very skilled at it. I haven't sat and tried to learn how most people do theirs. I thought maybe about learning it someday. But that would be like if I ever made like a YouTube specific video series or anything like that, I might go ahead and um, learn how to edit because I know that long form content isn't as popular on there as it used to be, but it also would be for my benefit so that I could cut out a lot of the soft, quiet, not talking to anybody sections. Um, and of course, all of my ums and uhs could be trimmed down a little, but I probably wouldn't. I probably would just do a video where I'm just sitting here recording by myself, not really chatting with anybody, and I would just upload it as it was. We shall see. I don't know. I think that's why I do the streaming part and not just the YouTube part, is because although I can talk to no one in particular, I like the option of people dropping in on me. I think it makes it more fun. So we'll see. No, I'm not very high energy today. I'm usually much more high energy. But we are sleepy, and we are headachy, and we don't feel good. So hopefully y'all will forgive me. Get a little extra hydration in there. That is one of the downsides to talking on stream a whole bunch, is that I end up with like a very dry mouth type thing going on. And when I'm like headachy and stuff, it seems to be worse. I don't know if I'm just headachy and dehydrated, or headachy headachy because I'm dehydrated, or if it's just a yap kind of day and it made my mouth dry. Who knows? A little bit of all three, probably. All right, get this bad boy done. I think one of the main reasons that I stream is just because I like to play games in like large chunks, and sometimes I like to earn money to do that. So if I can earn a few cents by sitting here and talking about nothing, or talking with people when they come in and chit chat with us, while I play the games that I was already going to play anyway, that seems like a win-win. So I'll take it. Plus, being a streamer gives me the excuse to pay people to make emotes for me, and then I can have lots and lots of emotes of my cute little dog, which is always a plus. The world could stand to have more emotes of my cute little dog. Believe that wholeheartedly. I actually just had some made by the same lady who made my little bongo emote. Um, and she did a pretty good job. I like me quite a lot. I was trying to figure out how to put like custom images into Tomodachi Life, and I found out that the way people were doing it was they were hand drawing them. And unfortunately, I am not an artist, so I will not be able to accomplish that. But I originally was going to try to put my dog into Tomodachi Life. If I do that successfully, I will absolutely play it on stream so I can show y'all. But until then, we shall see. I've seen some folks say, "Oh, I used this like pixel perfect type of website where it like pixelates an image you put into it and it tells you which colors to use and blah 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 blah." And there are some out there that are specifically set for Tomodachi Life, and that's all well and good. But I am not sure if those are run by AI, and I'm also not sure if they are any good or easy to follow or any of that. I imagine with the limited amount of colors that Tomodachi Life has, it would be something that would probably end up being like more difficult than it will seem at first. And frankly, the amount of patience that it takes to turn a living, breathing animal into a photorealistic version of itself inside of a game using pixel art doesn't make it seem worth it for me personally, but I'm sure it's worth it for somebody. So, if you have the skill and patience to do so, I salute you and I encourage you. I myself do not have the skill or the patience, unfortunately. So, the other option would be to see about getting somebody to like draw him in a much more simplistic style, and then try putting that simplistic style into the game, which would kind of fit like I tried to look over here, it would fit the more like aesthetic of the game, but I don't know if there's necessarily like people out there that are drawing in that style that would be able to like draw me a version of him. So, for those who don't know, Tomodachi Life is a very, very silly life simulator game. It's definitely not everybody's cup of tea, and it's one of those games where, unless you just really love the goofiness and you play the demo on your Switch and you really love it, you're not gonna love the overall game. Because if you play the demo, you've pretty much played the entire concept of the game. Sure, there are additional things in the full release, and sure, there's certain like modes and tasks that you can't do unless you play the full release. It's essentially just a longer version of the demo. So if you play the Tomodachi Life demo and you love that, you'll love the game. If you don't love it, maybe wait till it goes on sale. Um, if you just have money to burn, you just pick it up. And if you play the demo and you hate it, well, I don't recommend buying the game even if your friends have it because you will be disappointed. It doesn't have much more than the initial parts of the game. Now, admittedly, there are more things, but the gameplay mechanics and things don't change, like I said. So that's the hard part. You gotta love the mechanics. If you don't love the mechanics, you won't love the game. The same could be said for, well, most games actually, this one included, that I'm playing right now. If you don't love the mechanics of going over every single spot and cleaning up all the dirt until it's mostly done, and then a little thing, dings when you're finished, we ran out of soap, then you probably will not enjoy playing this game. And I really do feel like a lot more games, especially like the AAA title games, should have demos available, because I feel like it would be a good idea to let people try your game, especially when a lot of the big ticket items are, 60, $70 a piece. It's a good thing when you have a demo. And I highly encourage any like up and coming type games that really want to draw people in, um, with, maybe not necessarily like giving them like, here's a demo, figure it out. You could find a way to have like demo only features or trial only features, in the same way that like MMOs do, or like having a certain version of the game that's like, oh, here's this version of the game, and it's the unfinished beta version, and that's what you play for free or cheap price or something. Um, because it gives people the ability to try out your game, and people who are able to try it out usually will play it longer. Hey, Archie, I got one for you. I just walked past a piece of Sassy's, almost exactly half covered in snow and ice. Half covered. It's getting any weirder than that, folks. We've all heard of things completely covered in something, like whatever the heck that said. I was yapping instead of reading, as I lost what I was saying about demos, and I tried to find it. And basically, I'm pro demo, and I will play a demo even if I know I'm bound to buy a game. I will still grab the demo and play the demo because I want to be sure. I will say that the demo or the early access of a game has tricked me before. There's been a couple games where I've played the demo and I'm like, oh yeah, that was really exciting. And then I got in, I played the actual game, and I was like, oh, that was literally it. I basically played the whole game by playing the demo. And those I don't love. So Tomodachi Life was the exception to that for me, only because like I already previously loved the original and I knew it was going to be more of the same plus some. Like I didn't go into Tomodachi Life 2, I guess, by thinking, oh, this is going to be like a huge leaps and bounds over the original and blah, blah, blah. No, I figured it was essentially going to be, if not a carbon copy, a very close copy of the original with a few upgrades. Like it has some visual upgrades, it has some mechanical upgrades, it has new things you can do, but at its core, it is exactly the same as the first game. And because I loved the first game so much, that's a win for me. But yeah, like I played Fae Farm, and I think we played Fae Farm on the channel actually. And Fae Farm tricked me because I really, really enjoyed the demo and I thought it was going to be like just a big sweeping adventure. And it was just kind of more of the same. It didn't really get super duper exciting. It was just, oh, this was pretty good. And then Everdream Valley tricked me too. And I'm sure that it has come several long ways since we last played it. I know there were some updates and some new mechanic stuff, but it was not nearly as like innovative as it seemed like it was going to be from the demo, because they didn't really show you everything in the demo. They just kind of hinted at everything. And then when I actually got in and played Evergreen Valley, it was kind of a letdown because we'd played a bunch of games like it before that, in my opinion, had done it better. And for those unfamiliar with Evergreen Valley, of course, that is a farming sim that, I mean, admittedly, you know, it's a little third person one. You run around. Well, I guess it's not really third person, it's first person, but it's, you know, more of a 3D style. You're running around, you're taking care of animals. And it has a mechanic in it where you have to like chase off wolves and stuff, which I don't love, but I mean, there were several things about the game that were newer, that were unique to it, and some of those I really didn't like. And quite frankly, the wolf coming to steal your critters aspect, had I known that that was in the demo, I would not have, or had I known that from the demo, I would not have bought the game. Because that to me is stressful and not very cozy and casual. Excuse me. Hydrate before you dehydrate, am I right, folks? Ugh. I don't know why I suddenly started coughing so bad. It was not pleasant. Oh, clicked the wrong button again. Oh no. There we go. Okay, 72% done. I guess that looks like 30% or so. All right, back to the soap. Wonder if Ice King is gonna like try to kidnap Bubblegum or something. Or if he's gonna be like, oh, you cleaned up my ice, come clean up my castle. I do not know. I do think it's a little bit interesting that the soap appears to be a little bit pink, as if it's more similar to cotton candy than it is to soap. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm seeing things. It's also to differentiate it from the like snow that's on the ground, I guess. But I do think it's interesting. All right. Yeah, listen to all those dings. Woo. Dinglicious. I won't say that again, I promise. I will say a lot of cringe stuff, but I won't say that. And don't immediately ask me, excuse me, what aren't you gonna say again? I'm not saying it. So sorry. If you missed it, you missed it. I'm almost as sassy as Sassy's Pizza. I get the sneaky suspicion I've missed something on Sassy's itself, so we'll have to go back and clean it more later. But that's okay. Now you can play this game multiplayer, much like you could in the first one. I believe that it is both local and internet co-op, but I am not 100% sure. I'm just pretty sure. I've seen people play it, so that's how I know. But also, I have experienced the joys of Power Wash Simulator, the original, on the internet. And I would absolutely play this with somebody else if they asked. I think to be able to play the DLC with someone else, you both have to have it, but I'm not 100% sure. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Getting rid of all that beautiful snow and ice. That took me ages. Well, mystery solved. Hooray. Well, okay, maybe not that long, but that's only because I'm so good at it. Is Finn and or Jake going to respond? What would be really cool, and I know it won't be a thing because that's not the kind of game that this is, but what would be really cool is if they had voice acting. I don't know if they could get the original like Finn and Jake or Ice King or Bubblegum or any of those to like drop like a voice line into the game, but it would be cool. Speaking of voice acting, which then reminds me of our playthroughs of Phoenix Wright, at some point we will need to do some more Ace Attorney and play the Miles Edgeworth games, because there's the Ace Attorney Investigates, and we never played them when we were streaming last. So that's something we need to put on our list. And then, I don't know. There's other games that have like a pretty decent story to them that I would like to play on stream with you all, but I have to decide if like I want to invest the time in them, if I'm gonna enjoy them, blah blah blah. So we shall. They don't expect me to be playing Baldur's Gate anytime soon, but you know, something with a narrative premise to it. That would be nice. Now, could we play something simple and silly and nonsensical? Sure, of course we could. I mean, technically this has a story, but it is also simple and nonsensical and silly. But we'll see. Actually, you're pretty handy with that thing, aren't you? You little goody two shoes. Thanks, Ice King. Ice King, please. Two legs, two arms, one head. All right. Kind of gives me an idea for what. I wonder what his idea is. Is he gonna make one of me? That would be silly. Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm not entirely sure if you can play the DLC with other people. I assume that you can, and I assume that you just both have to have it, but I don't know for sure. I know you can do the story as a duo. I know you can, actually, I think up to four people can play together. Um, but I don't know for certain. Oh, the soap is moving. Good job, soap. I don't think I ever noticed whether it moved it before or not. Huh, oh well. Yeah, clean it on up. One little thing going, so it's a little hard. Clean it on. With the soap, it just comes right off. So it's very nice. I'll need to re-soap the roof to be able to keep using this particular nozzle, but that's okay. Hmm. Maybe I shouldn't be using the white one. Maybe I should be using the green one despite the soap. There were some remnants left behind, and that was odd to me. That's alright. We can always wash a thing twice. Which, again, is kind of what we're doing with the soap, is we're soaping it all up, and then we're washing it all up. And I will fully admit that one of the main people that I've seen play this game is Game Grumps, because, of course. I'd like to see Markiplier play it, but it's okay. I don't think I've watched him play a Power Wash Simulator since, like, the very early, like, first game stuff. Before it had an actual story to it, which is also the first time I happened to play, because it was a good game, and I liked it. Oh, looks like take down over there. A little more extendy, that should help us. Okay. Oh, because the lid. Okay. I was like, why is it not counting that as clean? It looks clean to me. Well, because it's not. It's not clean on the upper side. Makes sense. Oh, got it. All right, the ground is done. Always a nice feeling to have something else cleaned. Oh, we're at the 97 percentile range. We're going to start getting reticles. Now, again, the benefit of the reticles is that they point us to things that are not cleaned fully. Um, and they really just point us to a thing. They don't really point us to the spot where it's dirty, which is fine, but Sometimes it can be a little in the way. Where is this one now? Oh, this complete side that I wasn't looking at. Let's see. Gumdrops done. Gumdrops done. Gumdrops done. Gumdrop. Okay. Nice. Okay. So I think not next week because we'll be off, but the week after, I will either play more of this, depending on how far we get today, or inversely, play a totally new game that I purchased but never actually played on stream. We shall see. Or maybe we'll play something like Palia or Infinite Nikki or one of the others that have like a sort of event going on right now. Mostly because they are cozy games and we've played them before, and so we won't be too behind on the story as a group. But I'm not sure. If I manage to get into the betas for either Loftia or Petite Planet, obviously those would take precedence over whatever we were playing at the time. Mostly because I would be so excited to show y'all, and I would be so excited to play it. But I don't know that there's going to be another round of betas for either of those for a while. So I'm not anticipating that being a anytime soon sort of thing. So we shall see. And take away the extendy. I think the extendy is kind of harming us a little bit. Do a little bit of extendy. Clean in between the tiles here. What? Fell off her. Oh, the steps weren't clean. Oh no. That's the hard part for these kinds of things is that without it constantly telling me like a whole list of everything that needs to be cleaned, obviously I'm gonna miss some spots. So it is super, super easy unless you're just going over every inch of something meticulously, one pixel at a time. It is very easy to miss spots that need to be cleaned. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's half the fun of the game is being able to go back and get the satisfying ding of areas you were already in. But, you know, maybe your playstyle isn't like that. Maybe you like to only go to an area once and you want to finish it as you go. That's valid. I think for me, it's more about making the overall picture cleaner a little at a time. And then at the end, you get to watch the playback and see how exactly did we get here. Switch to the green one. There's definitely stuff up here. Now I can just move this a little closer. That'll make it easier. And we go up here. We can get really, really tall. And that makes it easier to see the stuff. So, highly recommend the scaffolding. I think there is at least one achievement from the original game for not using scaffolding on a specific level. But I am not sure if there's like one like that for this game or not. All right, let's see. Where's our handy dandy reticle? Oh, the gumdrop buttons. Gumdrop buttons. This post. Ah, and then Interesting. Huh. Kind of thought I was going to be able to put it back here somewhere, but I cannot. Okay, no problem. Can I get in here? No. Slightly more of a problem, but that's okay. I can jump on the dumpster once I jump in this barrel. All right, windows clean. Don't know why the wall is not. Probably because the separator is here. Oh, thought I could get up. That's all right. Oh, my goodness. What did this come from? Terrible. All right. Up and up. And... Aha! I knew I could do it. I was on Tumblr the other day, and I saw a series of posts about Animorphs. And I forgot that series existed until I saw it on Tumblr. But it was a very, very good series. Also, probably more realistic than any YA fiction I've ever read. Mind you, it of course still had like aliens and shapeshifting and all this fun stuff. But it was real in a gritty sort of way, I guess is the best way I can put that. You know, you had characters who would have to plan their missions realistically because they knew it was going to take them a while. And they knew they were going to have to plan to fool their parents because otherwise they're going to get grounded and couldn't afford to be grounded because one person's parent was like taken over by the enemy and another person's parent was like um, just a helicopter parent. So they're always involved and, you know, things like that. So it was kind of an interesting trip down memory lane because I remember really enjoying that series, but I also don't remember finishing it. And I think that's because somebody spoiled some stuff that happens to certain characters, and I won't, of course, spoil it here. But there are major things that happen to characters that don't get reversed. Like they don't realistically all end up all hunky dory. You know, there's after effects of being in this, for lack of a better term, war. That's what these kids were in. And I guess I really started thinking about it a lot recently after that post because there's a lot of parallels to, like, of course, real life struggles. Like I said, it's, you know, one of the more realistic fantasy series out there, especially in terms of like young adult fiction. And yeah, really got me thinking. And for those who are unaware of the Animorphs series, somehow, by K.A. Applegate, it is a very, very good young adult, like modern fantasy, I guess would be the best way to put it, modern sci-fi. And it is essentially about these kids who stumble upon this alien who grants them the ability to shapeshift into any animal they touch. Um, because he grants them the powers that he and his race have. And this causes them to end up in the center of a galactic war, for lack of a better term, and all of the very realistic shenanigans that ensue. And at that point, shenanigans is not a very good word for that, but I digress. It is what it is. Also, I made that jump terribly. We're just going to take him all the way up. Jake. Off onto this edge here, and then whee, and whee. I think it's this edge right here I'm trying to get to, but don't know for sure. Aha! Right. That was the secret. What the heck? All right, so there's a pillar up there that is restraining. Now, the main thing when you move these scissor lifts is they go all the way back down. So we're gonna have to jump back on Jake and go back to that. And maybe you saw that earlier, maybe you thought it was a trick of your mind. It was not. It was real and unfortunate. Looks like we missed quite a bit earlier. Here we go. Oh yeah, we have quite a bit to do. All of it in Sally's, as it turns out. It's like pizza crust, a lot of these wall fragments for some reason. Go like this. Oh, we got all the rest of the wall bases. Okay. Now it's the upper pizza wall. Oh, put this white section in here. Ah, we did it. We're gonna end back on top of Sassy's, unfortunately. Oh, I almost wish we had gone from the other side so that we would have revealed a piece of Sassy's. Oh, it even shows us using the soap. What it doesn't show us is using the furniture. So when you use like the scissor lift, the ladders, things like that, it just crops them out of the video. Okay, Sudsy Pants, you're coming with me. If you insist on completely undoing my revenge hit job, then the least you can do is undo the reason for the revenge hit job in the first place. Maybe if you'd swung by my man cave first, we could have avoided this entire situation. Ice King's Castle. I don't know how long we got until how long we have until the princess notices that you're gone, Sudsy. So we need to make good while we can. The whole place is covered in supremely melted cheeses and a boldly rich tomato sauce, which could only have come from one place, Pizza Staff. Unfortunately, I have some urgent whiz bits to take care of in Wizard City, so you're on your own. Also, I was trying to see how many jobs were in this DLC. I'm gonna check that first. Oh, we're almost halfway done with the DLC. Neat. All right. Now we're gonna make good on our nickname and suds everything up. It looks like the floor is potentially covered in grime, the same way that the treehouse was. So, and the walls, frankly, the whole place. So, let's do this job some soap covered justice and suds it on up first. There are things sticking out of the ceiling, pizza and cheese everywhere. Just a horrible time. I do think it's funny that our character is canonically just like, oh, you want me to clean? Okay. And then just starts cleaning. Like, Ice King totally kidnapped him, and we are perfectly fine with it, as long as we clean. Oh, yeah. Look how different the color is. Now, it does look like, realistically, we could be using the rubber brush, but Lumpy Space Princess. Oh, hey, have you seen my handbag? It should be an Ice King's cell. Is she the one that threw a party in here? Pizza everywhere? I wanted to like leave him a little something, drive him crazy with desire. Arm treasure with desire. Just making sure no one's taken it. I can't do a Lumpy Space Princess very well. Honestly, I can't do many of the Adventure Time characters pretty well, unfortunately, but I mean, I can kind of do a lemon grab, but I'm not gonna test that because I will hurt my own ears and y'all's ears, and it will just be a not fun time for everyone. So we won't be doing that. Maybe another time. Maybe I'll throw together a lemongrass cosplay and torture y'all with that. Honestly, I'm more like torture myself, but it's fine. Alright. One. Flip to the biggest. Extendy it. It's growing. Oh yeah. Look at this thing. There is purple goo. It's possible that Lumpy's Space Princess was involved in this. I would like to see if, like, oh, Finn and Jake were involved, they caused this, blah blah blah. Oh, underpants. Oh my god. Found some underpants. Is Gunther in here? Oh, hey, Gunther. Can I pet you? Aha, I can pick him up. I wanted to pet him. I wanted to pet him. I did not actually want to pick him up. I wanted to pet him, but I guess it's fine. Man, look at this mess. There's pizza everywhere. I'm sure we're going to uncover more stuff on the floor. We're like a Roomba. Wank, wank, wank. Now, Gunther is a girl. We don't even have to question that. I'm like, female. Gunther lays an egg. Whoa. It glitched out on me. Well, guess we're in jail now. And there's Lumpy's Space Princess's handbag, as described. There's also slime everywhere, which makes me think that Finn and Jake were involved. Could totally fit through those bars, but I guess not. Can I close this? Can I put Gunther in jail? Come here, Gunther. You gotta go to jail. Aw. Put Gunther in jail. Can I pick up the ambulance? I cannot pick up the ambulance. Okay. It's fine. I didn't want to pick him up anyway. 20-inch one. Yeah. Lightest possible. Let's get it clean. Oh. I'm like, what is that sound? It's the snail. Alright, so the snail is going to be our find them in every level, I guess. Which is cool. I bet you there is an achievement in this level that I'm missing somehow, since Gunther is available but not petable. Oh, that? Just a little something I happened to whip up to pass time. What? Have you read it yet? Do you like it? Tell me it's good. Was it a... Did we just... Oh, it's the Fiona and Cake! Nice. I didn't even notice we had rolled over that. There's his diary. Alright, we cleaned the Fiona and Cake book. Nice. I will say that the episodes where Ice King was reading about Fiona and Cake were some of my favorites. And that I am aware that the Fiona and Cake spinoff that I haven't watched yet is apparently nothing like that, or at least not based like that. So, I don't know. We'll see. Wait a minute, I'd completely forgotten that Lumpy Space Princess was holed up in my cell. She must be behind all this. She has a history of going hard on pizza whenever she needs to get over some rando dude. Why was she in your cell? And here I've been parading around in my new winter robe, oozing unavailability. Poor girl's fallen for me, hook, line, and sinker. What? Why was she in your cell, though? Do you want Lumpy Space Princess? They don't call me the Princess Whisperer for nothing, you know. Do they call you that? Do they call you that because you whisper at princesses? Because that would make more sense. New winter robe. Pretty sure it looks exactly like your old winter robe, buddy. Listen. Well, I mean, I would believe that Lumpy's Space Princess had something to do with this, but I don't know. And I mean, she did say that she was leaving him something to remember her by. So we shall see. I wonder if LSP wants Ice King to like her in the way that she wants everybody to like her, or if she's just like saying that because she was holed up in a cell forever. Little Stockholm syndrome situation. All right, there's got to be something with Gunther. I should probably look it up, but I have a feeling that whatever it is, I would probably have to reset the level for it. I don't really want to do that. Maybe we'll do that when we come back in a couple weeks. Um, we'll just go ahead and do all the achievement runs during it too. We'll see. We shall see. All right, this is not as effective as I was hoping, so we're gonna switch back over to this then. It is neat to use. I will give it that. I mean, I like it quite a bit, but for efficiency's sake, I wouldn't say that it was the best. Now, if it cleaned the floor with no residue left behind at all, then I would probably use it, no questions asked. But because it does still leave behind residue, I have a feeling that I'm not using it correctly. You're probably supposed to soap up the floor and then use it, but I don't know that for certain because it doesn't have a soap feature of its own. And I think when you switch from a soaping gun to a non-soaping gun, you're not able to still use the soap. But I'm not sure if that's true. I do not know if that is true, but I think it's true. So, and much in the same way we can push the middle button and hold it on that thing, we can also push and hold it on this thing. Swap out our nozzles, swap out the type of equipment we're using. So we're gonna swap on over to the soap. I'm gonna soap up this area. And I should press 3 so that I can put the soap farther away. The bench and all the stuff on the floor. And get the snail because it's funny to put soap on his head. So we don't know if Snoop would prefer a snail, and maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but I think it's funny. I apologize to all the snail fans out there. I'm soaping a snail. In my defense, I'm almost positive that he's an evil snake. So, does that make it better? I have no idea. Probably not. It probably still makes me disappointed. Sorry, I'm adjusting how I'm sitting in my chair. One of the major downsides to both streaming and working from home at the same time. Well, not directly at the same time, but like, simultaneously. Nope, not the right word. In the same day is that I was already sitting in this exact chair for 8 hours, and now I'm sitting here for several more hours. And it is not always the most comfortable. More comfortable than my previous chair that I replaced with this one, but still, not the most comfortable. Oh my glob. Ice King said what? Whatever this was It's so totally over. What? Did she think they were together? I mean, it was over anyway. We're like long gone. Nothing can hold these down, these books. Okay. Sure, LSD. No problem. Oh, yeah. This is so satisfying. And that is a very funny picture. So is that one. I wonder who they're supposed to be of. I don't know if I remember seeing them in Ice King's cave in the show, but here they make for an extra funny touch, personally. I think so. The soap doesn't actually seem to be necessary in this level. Maybe on some of the cheesy parts it's necessary, but on just like this soot and gunk, it's fine. You just use the washer. I don't know. We shall see. Spritz, 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 spritz. Spray all the things. Do, 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 do. I like how the snail randomly hides because we keep spraying him. But to be fair, if he didn't like hang out by this weight that is such a weird shape, he wouldn't keep getting sprayed. Because I'm not trying to spray him, except for right then. Because I don't know if that's under him or if it's part of him. I'm gonna assume it's part of him for now. And I'm just gonna go back to spraying things. But he is in a spot where there are some more fiddly things to spray and clean. So that's why I said it's very easy to hit him, and I'm not trying to hit him until I actively try to hit him. And I made myself a liar. Womp womp. Trying to think if I want to do any sort of recording of the cookies that I'm planning to make while my friend's in town. Um, I'll definitely post pictures and share that with everybody, but I don't know if I'm going to record the process. I know I said a long time ago that I wanted to do like a baking stream, and I still really haven't figured out the best way to do it. I don't really have an open enough kitchen, and like layout wise open enough that it would be easy to like set up the camera and see everything that's going on. Um, and it would be more difficult to talk to y'all if I'm like using my stand mixer and stuff like that. So while I do hope to do it someday, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to do it effectively. So I could, I suppose, do a baking stream that's very similar to like a co-working stream where like I'm doing my thing and I pop in on y'all every once in a while. But we'll see. I don't even know if that is something that y'all would enjoy. I don't know if it's something I would enjoy. I've never tried, so we have to see. I think it would depend on what I was making. So if it was something that I could like, very easily turn away from, like I'm not making like a custard or something, um, and it's just something that I like make and then turn away from it to pay attention to y'all, then I could definitely see myself doing a baking stream of some sort. But if I was doing a stream where like, oh, I'm trying to make like custards and cooked fillings and things that required more of my attention, I could see that being less fun for me. So, Zombie Space Princess. Party God broke us all out or whatever. Us? Who's us? I'm missing out. He showed up after Gunther bought out all the pizza staffers. Oh. So Party God and Gunter are the reason for this. I think Gunter planned it, like he was asking the Party God for something while Ice King was off doing his magic tricks or whatever. Wow. Asking Party God for something. I wonder what. Alright, let's soak it all up. And then we can use the white one on. There we go. And I put Gunter in jail. And if Gunter really is responsible for doing this, it makes sense to put Gunter in jail. But I wonder if I needed to clean it first. It doesn't really make sense for Gunther to be in jail from like an Ice King perspective, but we'll see. Oh, I wonder if I can actually play that. Huh. If I understood music, I probably could. If I knew how to play piano, I would try to play that. Unfortunately, I do not know how to play a piano, so I don't know what those notes are. And it has been an incredibly long time since I learned how to read sheet music. I played the clarinet as a child because it was much cheaper to rent than any other instrument. So that's what I got. And I rented it from the school, and then after that year of taking it, I gave it up because I didn't like it and it required a lot of practice, and I was not into not being good at things just from the start. So I didn't do it anymore. Admittedly, I'm still not into not being good at things directly from the start, but you know, that's a flaw that I have to work on. So, we'll see. This is a computer made of ice. Oh, TV. TV made of ice. Admittedly, very fun. Heat signature VHS tape. Wow. Is that what's going to be on the TV once we clean the front? If so, very fun. Thought I had it on green. What is happening? I swear I keep switching it to green, and when I look at it again, it's back on white. I must be accidentally bumping the wheel. And you may be thinking, oh, Cece, you must be doing it on purpose and not noticing. Well, that's actually an accident, so you'd be wrong. And I was trying to be clever, and I lost what I was saying because I got so distracted by how clean that was getting, which is what this game does to me, quite frankly. I am powerless to resist the call of the swooshing sound. Boy, do I love a good swooshing sound. Followed intermittently by dinging sounds. Very nice. What could Gunther have wanted from the Party God? I wonder. I think Party God is dead in the series. Not sure. Because there's an episode where Ice King like meets this giant island lady and ends up killing Party God. It's a weird show, but I'm not 100% sure. He might not have killed him. He might just have incapacitated him for a little while. and then puppeted his unconscious body to break up with said giant lady. But you know, I don't know. Intentioner. All I know is that I don't recall whether that's actually this or I was gonna say anime, this animated show or not. Can I push any buttons? No, cannot. Wow, even his bed is covered in grime. Gross. But at least he has a real mattress on top of ice, and not like an ice bed. I think an ice bed would be too cold to sleep on. Like I know some people run hot, and you probably need some kind of ice bed, but no, you don't. No, you definitely don't. Aha. I see you, tiny flecks of dirt. You cannot fool me. Alright, let's see. I may have to call it after this one because my headache's getting bad again. So we may have to continue this not next week, but the week after. Um, and if we don't, we'll always like we could always table it and do it another week, and you know, it'll be fine. And I know we've been going until practically midnight the last couple of streams, but I think this particular stream we're gonna have to cut it early. Like I said, I've been very headachy all day, and it's been kind of rough. So I don't want to push it too hard and give myself another migraine, and then I'm incapacitated all night and unable to sleep, and then it gets worse, and you know, cycle continues. Um, so we'll see. Because we're only 50% done with this one. Completely forgot that I soaked this whole area, so that was embarrassing. Soap the area and then forget that it's soaked, so I don't end up cleaning it on time. Piss, piss me, piss, piss. Maybe we can put Gunther in her handbag. Like we need. But yeah, so if we end up playing this, not next week, but the week after, then that could be neat. But like I said, you know, we've got other games that we can play, other cozier games. I just happen to really like Power Wash Simulator because it is one of those kinds of games where you can just zone out while you're playing it and not really have to use too terribly much brain power, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, actually, because when I'm playing a more story heavy or dialogue heavy game, um, it's easier for me to focus, especially while talking to you guys. So that this game may be a disadvantage in that sense, but I don't know that there are a lot of games that aren't like super duper long. So that was kind of why I decided to do this one instead of starting a brand new game. Because I felt bad that, you know, oh, you know, what if we start a brand new game and then we are on hiatus the following week and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, well, you know, I'll play a game like this where it's easy to jump in and out and it won't really like harm anybody, or hopefully it won't, you know, upset anybody if we have to take the week off and not come back to it for a while. But I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm enjoying it because I like the Adventure Time series and I like the Power Wash Simulator series, and so this is just a really good blend for me. In the same way that I really like the Wallace and Gromit series. So of course, I've played the Wallace and Gromit DLC. But Gunther didn't realize that Party God, anything other than Hawaiian pizza is a party foul. Oh. Good to know. So they ended up like everywhere. Ended up like everywhere. Poor Gunther. Even a babe like me knows how it feels to pull out all the stops and have it thrown back in your face. Oh, Brad, why did you do this to me? What? Or just throw this from her. I wish I could do a Lumpy Space Princess. She's got a fun voice. But I cannot. Definitely not right now. So, but yeah. When the Wallace and Gromit DLC came out for the original, I played the heck out of it. I think I probably put on the movie Murder Most Foul, which I think is the most recent Wallace and Gromit that was made. And of course, it's another animated series. Um, and then I just powered through that level series as fast as possible while watching the movie. It was a good time. Oh yeah, look at it go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now there is a difference in sound between the different nozzles, which sometimes throws me off a little bit and sometimes it's perfectly fine. Because the different nozzles, like I'll be going for a while and there will be that same like whoosh sound from a specific nozzle. And I'm like, man, what is that sound? And then I'll switch nozzles. It's like, oh, that sound is gone now. So usually when I'm playing, I will switch nozzles a lot less, but I will start and stop a lot more. So, oh, number one bait. That was Gunther goes. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to put Gunther at the drums. Lava lamp. What lava lamp? There we go. Wanted a whiter clean nozzle. So I had to cycle around to see how long it would be. Just quite frankly, I'm trying to get most bang for my buck. And it's perfectly fine to have to go over an area a couple of times with a nozzle. Not really pulsed about that. But pulse plus, I actually don't know how to set that, but it's off the top of my head. Not really bothered by it, so I just keep going. Ooh, catchy. Keep going, Sudsy. I think I've got something. Oh, the drums. Stood on it. Does that count? This is definitely not a good way to play these. Wow. We're just making noise at this point. Oh well. Gotta switch to the green ones. We can make sure these are clean. Up close and personal on them. This is the symbol clean. Oh, because that counts as the symbol. Got it. Get underneath. And that one. Oops, snaps. And that should be all the symbols. Snare drum, bass drum, cymbal, cymbal. Those are all good. Nice. The dog was just running around. Weird. Let's see. Here. A little bit longer with this arm. Actually, we should probably soak this area. Soak it up, and then we can swap over to the white head, and then we can clean it all up. So it sounds like the story for why this is all pieced up is because Ice King left to go do something, and Gunther decided to throw a party, and Party God got invited, and then donked the whole place up. That's as far as I can tell, but who knows what the story is. I'm sure there's more to it than that. Oh, I missed some spots for the soap. Oh no. That defeats the purpose of the soap. Now, for most of these spots, you don't have to get them like 100% pixel perfect. I'm sure there's probably a mode or a mod or something that makes it so that you do have to do that, but in the main game, you don't. You just have to get it pretty much done, and then the game will recognize it as finished and clear out the rest for you. Which, admittedly, when I very first started playing the game, there were a couple that I was trying to get like the real satisfying clean out of, and I still had like a huge chunk of it to go, and it decided to count it as finished and cleared it out for me. Which, I mean, thank you, game. I appreciate you giving me the benefit of the doubt there. But it was like a huge section of the dirty thing. And I was like, wait a minute, I was still working on that. What the heck? So, what is it? Laundry basket. Gross. There we go. Ooh, power this stuff off the wall. Is something that seems to be missing from the game is there's not really any music to it. Like, I get that that could potentially overtake the sweet, sweet dinging sound, but that is a little bit odd. Most cozy games have some sort of soundtrack. And it's not like this one has like zero sounds and zero tunes of any kind, but it just doesn't have actual music to it. Let's fall asleep. I should probably get off it. Let's see. Right. Lots of posters. Our manly posters. Is Gunther supposed to be in bed? Oh, Ice King's diary. Maybe it's not his diary. Maybe it's somebody else's diary. Nope, it's his. It's actually very cute. My favorite what that song says. Unless you stay, using for little bit. Man, I don't remember the lyrics to that song, but that is a good song. And I apologize for anybody that was expecting me to sing that whole song and got a little shook up when I suddenly started talking instead. But man, I wish I remembered the lyrics to that one. It's a good one. My brain started supplying the lyrics to one of the ones from Steven Universe, and I was like, that's definitely not it. So I knew very quickly that I did not have the lyrics in my brain properly. There is an episode, for those who don't know, there's an episode of Adventure Time where Marceline and the Ice King start trying to make music together, and it brings up some of their like shared history, and it makes for a very good song and some emotional parts. Because the show is actually pretty good at that. Like the first beginning era of the show, of course, is a lot of fart jokes and making up words like mathematical and slamos out, that kind of thing. But then, if you look farther into it and you start playing like the later seasons and stuff like that, there's actual story there. And so, of course, it gets much deeper than you would have imagined when you first started watching it, where it was all about this elephant lady that makes apple pies and random stuff like that. Admittedly, there are a lot of cartoons that kind of take that route, where there's like a bunch of silliness to them, and then it's very clear when a certain writer took over the show and made it like actually cohesive. Um, so I highly recommend checking out this series, even though it is long running and a little bit convoluted. It's a good show. So what can I say? There's not a whole lot I can say. Back to clean Lumpy Space Princess's bag, even though it doesn't really look like Lumpy Space Princess's bag. I would have imagined her bag to be like, I don't know, lumpier. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, I definitely need to fix the bots because the one that reminds you to hydrate isn't going. The one that warns you of like the upcoming ads isn't working. So I need to work on those. Also, hello, Ice Cream. I see. Some Quincy did all this, did he? Pretty sure it's done better control. I'll have to squirt him with the spray bottle the next chance I get. Or maybe I'll get you to go turbo with that nozzle of yours. Wow, I did. He covered his apple. Alright, I know you're supposed to be somewhere, but I don't know where. Maybe we'll lock him up in jail when we're in the level. I do not know. want to see Ice King's new winter robe. We're not going to get to see that? Let's not see. He mentioned it. Now that's what I want to see. I guess that's kind of a component of this game, is that you get a lot of the visual story from the, like, mess and stuff that you're cleaning up, but not really a lot of visual story from, like, them doing things. You don't, like, see them fling the pizza around or any of that. You just see the aftermath. So, like, you know, Gunther reacts when you spray him in the face, so that's kind of cool. I don't know what my dog was doing. I heard him, but I don't know what he was doing. He managed to scratch a wound onto his, like, behind his ear, like onto the back of his head. So I'm trying to keep an eye on him for when he scratches, so that I will be ready and can stop him. Cover all this gross with this. I wonder if you have to clean, like, anything related to the lich. Probably not. Nightosphere and that. I don't know what places they chose to immortalize in this game, but I don't know for certain what they would have done. Prismos would be neat, because Prismo would just, like, sit there the whole time while you do it. Ah, yes, so satisfying. Cleaning off the soap and just cleaned everything that was underneath it. Ah, yes. I like being able to cut the, like, really wide swaths of just clean. That's TLC, but that's okay. I think there was a spot on it that I probably didn't hit with soap, so it's not counting it as clean. That's another run. Need to get the whole ceiling, right? Probably. Oh yeah. Very nice. Is this thing that was presenting the bars? Is this inky blackness right here? Probably. Probably indeed. Alright, I think the cell is clean. The floor itself is not clean. I don't know where. I'm sure I'll find it. Ah, under the basket. Somehow we're at 87. But because of the ceiling only? Or aha. There will be some in places I didn't know existed. So what I'm trying to do is throw you guys onto the floor, apparently. What I was gonna say was, what I'm trying to do is clean everything but the ceiling first. And then I'm going to try to soak the whole ceiling. Oh yes, thank you for weighing an opinion. Thank you, sir. Would you like to be on stream, or would you like to stare at me from my feet? Come on. No? Okay. He does not want to come up. He does not wish to join us. Oh, okay. So I wasn't hallucinating. The desk is a thing. I like how the pizza sauce goes splattering after you spray it with a power washer, which would probably be exactly what happens if you spray pizza sauce with a power washer. It would just spray everywhere. But that's okay. Somebody who's good at keyboards should try to play this song on the keyboard and see what happens. Clean the wall. Trying to clean alcove. What was this called? All right, we're getting into ceiling territory. Oh, something's not clean. Gym archway. Okay, is it the outside or the inside that's not clean? Ah, the inside. I saw something that was almost clean, but not fully. That segment? Are you the segment? All right. I'm positive that there are like hidden bits that are just not doing what they're supposed to do. All right, the ceiling looks like it's made out of several sections, so that would make sense. What was it? It was something. Oh, wall arch. Again, I'm trying to clean everything before I get to the ceiling. So, ceiling, stalactite, blah, blah, blah. That looks like most of it. I think if there's anything else, it'll all be like little things that we'll have to get at the end. Trying to keep my eyes like on the thing. I know there's one of the walls. One of the walls is not finished. Ah, wall recess. That's one. And now it is. And so, so. Gunther. Let Gunther watch TV. There you go, Gunther. You can watch TV. While it would be funny to leave him in jail at the end, I think it would be far nicer of us to not do that. So we'll see. Soap the ceiling. In a little shape. Looks like a flower. I'm gonna try to make it more flowerish before I still. Oh, I made it less flowerish. Oh no. Alright. Now really the only way to get your soap stuff back is to start working on other things. As it comes back over time. So we have to just trim the ceiling. Ice King. You know what really hurts though? What really hurts Ice King? Beyond the betrayal and the cleanup cost. What? Why wasn't I invited? I have moves. What's Gunther got? Probably better moves. Tiny little flippy flappy leg enders. His wings. They're nothing compared to my heavily sculpted thighs. What? I don't think you have heavily sculpted thighs. Is it trying to tell me the floor somewhere? Now he's gonna throw a pity party in my DMs. That's familiar. Go ahead and watch this stuff away. Very cool. All right, back to the soap. Oh yeah, get this all nice and soapy. Clean it all up. It's gonna be a good time. Okay, I think I've got it all soaked. I don't know if that's 5% of the clean, but I do think everything is soapy. That's the important part. So, we'll start cleaning. Maybe not everything. I think the other side of this, some of the stalactites are not quite clean, but you know what? It's fine. Take it a little at a time. I will fully admit that this level has taken longer than I thought it would, which is part of what's lending to us wrapping up as soon as it is over. I am not having a great time with my brain right now. It's decided that it must be in pain all the time. I am fortunately blessed with the ability to be used to a lot of my migraine symptoms, and for the most part, I can function once they've kind of like calmed down a little bit. But because I mean, I know people who, when they get migraines, like they're down and out the rest of the next 24 hours. Like there's no coming back from it. And I myself, like I've definitely had days where it's like I had a migraine last night and I didn't sleep well and everything's terrible and I just want to go cry all day or sleep all day. Bit like a, almost like a pain hangover is the best way I can describe it. And I'm very fortunate that it did not happen this time. I'm able to kind of function and not be too incapacitated. But you know, let's drum stalagmite. How are my drum stalagmites doing this to me? I thought I cleaned all these. Windows stalactite, which means it's hanging from the ceiling. It's a regular, not a window one, but that's yeah. I had a feeling the stalactites were going to be part of the last things to become clean, because they're like up on the ceiling. All right, we completed the Ice King's castle job. Escape. Wow, look at this chaotic path we took. And we soaped some things, and we scrubbed some things, we soaped some more things, we soaped the ceiling. What would I do without you, Sudsy? Now leave. Back to the Candy Kingdom with you. You can tell Bubblegum that I found you surrounded by lemon children and saved your life. That should keep her sweet. All right, so there's still some jobs left to do in the Candy Kingdom. Unfortunately, I'm not quite up to par to be able to get them completed today, but it's been fun. I really, really enjoy games like this. I really enjoy all of the Power Wash Simulator series, really. I've enjoyed playing the first one pretty much till I was all the way done with it. I played almost all the packs. There were some that I didn't get, like I didn't get the Warhammer 40K. I didn't get the, what was the other one? SpongeBob. I didn't get SpongeBob, even though I kind of wanted it. And I actually held off on getting the second Power Wash Simulator until this DLC came out. So it's been a lot of fun. I don't know if we're going to finish it the next time we stream. We might save it for another time, where I need to do like a little bit of a shorter stream. And if we don't play this next, we'll probably end up playing something else. I don't know if we'll start like a new game with a new story, or if we're gonna play something like Palia or Infinity Nikki or go back to Procopia, or how we're gonna do that. We're gonna play it by ear. Like I said, I'll be taking next week off, so I won't be back until the second week of May. But we'll all be here together and we'll all figure out what game we're playing together. So we shall see. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a restful, relaxing rest of your evening. I hope you get a snack if you need it. I hope you remember to hydrate because it is good for your brain and your body. And like I literally just said, we won't be back next Wednesday, but we will be back the following Wednesday around 7 p.m. Central Standard. And I hope to see you all again real soon. Bye!